term Omega Level and Beyond Omega Level was created by Marvel Comics as a term to describe mutants who were the most powerful in existence. It was later expanded to apply to all characters, and now we and a lot of other people use it to refer to characters in comics who are so powerful or have the potential to be so powerful that it kinda boggles the mind. Let's talk about the top 10 evil ones. Number 10. Zom. When Umar, the sister of Dormammu, invaded Earth and Doctor Strange could not defeat her, he needed some way to put her down. The Ancient One told Doctor Strange about the interdimensional being known as Zom. Zom easily defeated Umar, but being free and not wanting to go back, he turns on Doctor Strange. Zom is so powerful that there was absolutely nothing that Doctor Strange could do. Even if all the reality warping heroes and all the Avengers combined forces, they would not have been able to defeat Zom. It took the power of the Living Tribunal, the judge of the multiverse, who had not even been seen in Marvel Comics before this point, to whisk him away. And then, the Tribunal scolded Doctor Strange for summoning a being who could literally wipe out the multiverse. Zom has no other goal than to completely annihilate and destroy everything. Ever. Zom is one of the most powerful mystical entities in the entire Marvel Universe, and the Living Tribunal is the only person who has been shown to stop him. But we haven't seen much of him at all, which is why I put him at number 10. Number 9. The Batman Who Laughs. He's relatively new to comics, but he is nonetheless an exceedingly powerful character. He hails from Earth -22, where Batman kills the Joker, releasing a concentrated form of Joker toxin that turns Bruce into a Batman-Joker hybrid, with all the intelligence and athleticism mixed with the insanity and psychosis of the Joker. So how is he beyond Omega Level? Because of the resources and mind he possesses. He has a book on how to destroy the multiverse, as well as a real-world comic book that lays out the structure of the universe. He has a pack of metal cards that can warp reality. His visor allows him to see the dark multiverse as well as people's fears and dark desires, which he can then manipulate. He can recruit minions to his cause like his Robins, and can turn people to his side with his Joker toxin. People like Shazam, as an example. He has killed Superman, Martian Manhunter, The Flash, Plastic Man, and Wonder Woman on his Earth. It's essentially what would happen if Batman was evil and had prep time. The answer is part of one of the best comic stories in recent years. And I'm not sorry, I always talk about him. Number 8. Dormammu. Dormammu is one of a race of extra-dimensional energy beings called the Faltine. Him and his sister, Umar, are both mutants of the species, who seek to consume matter instead of energy, which is a big no-no. And, along with killing their pops, it caused them to be banished. They both traveled to the Dark Dimension, and eventually, Dormammu took it over. Dormammu is the prime enemy of the Vishanti. They're the gods who give the Sorcerer Supreme his power. And it's stated by Odin that this guy is his equal in power. He's more powerful than even the greatest sorcerers, including Doctor Strange and the Ancient One, and he can banish anyone from his domain, the Dark Dimension. But he usually fights them for a bit of sport, you know? He also has super strength, astral projection, matter transmutation, interdimensional teleportation, flight, he can change his appearance and size, he can control the elements, time travel, and project and absorb energy. He's also immortal and has a regenerative healing factor, which seems kinda useless if you're immortal, but hey, I just work here. Number 7. Shuma-Gorath. Shuma-Gorath is one of the greatest of the leaders of the Old Ones, also known as the Many-Angled Ones. Think like Lovecraftian old gods, and that's basically the Old Ones. Shuma-Gorath is the ruler of hundreds of dimensions, and is said to be older than the universe itself. He has many mystical powers, including the ability to communicate and control others across dimensions, create mystical energy blasts from his eye and his tentacles, and can transmute things on a planetary scale. He can destroy multiple galaxies with his aura pressure ability, and can control realities by using his tentacles to create a ball of energy that he launches at the reality. They first fully premiered in Marvel Premiere Volume 1, Number 10. In the comic, Shuma-Gorath ends up using the mind of the Ancient One, Doctor Strange's mentor, as a portal to the dimension of Earth. Doctor Strange goes into the Ancient One's mind to battle the defenses of Shuma-Gorath and fight his way into his realm, only to realize that the only way to win is to actually kill the Ancient One. He's forced to do it, and it leads to him becoming the Sorcerer Supreme for the first time. Number 6. Mad Jim Jaspers. When Captain Britain is sent to Earth 238, where there are no heroes of any kind, what we come to learn is that a guy named Mad Jim Jaspers is the Prime Minister of England, and he's created a cyborg called the Fury that can adapt to anything to destroy all the superpowered beings on this Earth. But that's not Jim's power. See, we are being delivered this information from inside of a teapot helicopter that is immensely bigger on the inside than it looks on the outside, with the room growing and characters appearing that are dead or that resemble Alice in Wonderland characters. That's because Mad Jim Jaspers has the ability to warp reality. When Earth 238's reality is completely destroyed, we're eventually introduced to an Earth 616 reality, Mad Jim Jaspers, who is way more powerful than his 238 counterpart. When Captain Britain pays him a visit, Jim uses his powers to make Captain Britain believe he was dreaming and that he has just woken up out of a coma. He then gets frustrated and wipes this entire reality clean to start fresh. He is eventually destroyed by the Fury cyborg that survived the 238 reality, who teleports Mad Jim to the empty 238 reality, where there is no reality for Mad Jim Jaspers to warp, and the Fury cyborg kills him. It's kind of confusing. Number 5. Mr. Mxyzptlk. As a magician and jester of the king in the 5th dimension, Mr. Mxyzptlk is one of Superman's wackiest villains. His level of reality warping powers are immense, but he uses his powers primarily to have a fun time, honestly. The guy is mainly bored. When he first appeared back in the day, he altered the weight of his own body so paramedics couldn't pick him up. And he made the mayor sound like a donkey. There's a story where he makes himself look like Clark Kent and then wipes his own memory so that he forgets he isn't Clark Kent. He breaks the 4th wall, can become a character in a television show, can turn off gravity, moves forward and backwards in time, is revived if he dies, and has interacted with the writers of the stories. His powers are only ever limited by his own imagination. Luckily, he isn't truly evil. He just likes to play around. But what if he was evil? Number 4. Emperor Joker. The Joker isn't beyond Omega level. He isn't even Omega level. He doesn't have any powers at all, actually. But when he tricks Mr. Mxyzptlk, the last guy on this list, into granting Joker 99.99% of his power, he definitely becomes one hell of a powerful character. He warped reality within 69 seconds into a place of his own design. He kept himself entertained by killing people over and over again, specifically Bruce Wayne, Batman, who he would torture and murder and revive over and over. He turned Superman into a dog for a time and put him in a time loop where he is constantly breaking out of Arkham Asylum. He ate the entire population of China's skulls out of a takeout box. He is nearly omnipotent and omniscient. He can change anything he wants in time and space, and his madness is at a level beyond anything we've seen before this. He ends up destroying this universe because of his misuse of power, but he can just rebuild it. You should read this story. Number 3. Chaos King. This guy is another character who hasn't been around for too long. He first appeared in 2006 and is referred to as the Japanese god of chaos, who subdued the pantheon of Japanese gods and decided to go after the Greek gods next. He has the ability to instantly transport armies wherever he wants. Armies that are made out of those that he's already killed. He even mortally wounded Zeus before being killed and eventually resurrecting himself. Chaos King thrived in the void before the Marvel multiverse was even created, and he and Eternity are basically of the same level. Eternity representing everything in the universe, and Chaos King representing nothing. During the Chaos War event, he kills Egyptian gods, Celtic gods, Shi'ar gods, gods of Zenlar, and he goes to the dream dimension and kills Nightmare. This guy even goes into hell and destroys Mephisto, as well as casting Mistress Death out of hell. The embodiment of death ran away from this guy. God Hercules, Galactus, and the Silver Surfer couldn't defeat him until Hercules used all of his strength to punch the Chaos King into a dimension of nothingness after he has destroyed 98.76% of the multiverse. Yeah, he's kinda nuts. Number 2. The Beyonders. The Beyonders come from a dimension outside the Marvel multiverse. Omnipotent, all-powerful, can create and destroy life, create planets and stars. They created the Molecule Man in every universe in order to destroy them all and blow up the whole multiverse just to see what would happen. They have killed celestials and cosmic entities of every universe, even the Living Tribunal, who was supposed to maintain balance in the multiverse. By just 3 of them, there is nothing that they can't defeat, save for the one above all, who is basically the creator of everything. Their displays of power are absolutely above almost any one character in the Marvel universe. mutants. They're the reason the whole Incursions event happened. They have gone to battle with Thor and Hyperion, who held their own for a fair amount of time before being defeated, and that is the only reason the Beyonders aren't at the #1 spot. Number 1, Marquis of Death. It's absolutely stupid how powerful this character is. Basically, there's this mutant, Clyde, who was taken to an asylum and wasn't allowed to have his comics. This resulted in him using his mutant powers to bring villains from a superhero reality into this reality. Eventually, the heroes of that reality show up and they win, and they end up bringing Clyde back to their universe to help him. Clyde eventually kills all the villains in that universe with a wave of his hand and spends 1 billion years learning how to manipulate space and time. Fast forward to after the events of Dark Reign, Dr. Doom's master shows up. It's Clyde! But he's much different. Disappointed with Doom's progress on this Earth, the Marquis of Death and Doom start a fight that lasts 6 weeks, ending with Dr. Doom winning and encasing the Marquis and his apprentice in an Omega box. Just kidding, it's actually been 6 seconds, and the Marquis of Death warped Doom's reality, making him think all that just happened. He then turns Doom's heart to stone, turns his blood into acid, and then sends Doom 65 million years back in time. He does way more bonker things than just that, but I can't cover it all. Read the story, you will not be disappointed.